Do you like timeless classics?
Yes.
Are you looking for curated designer vintage?
I am
actually.
You are?
We both
You guys
are.
are in the market? Well,
Yeah.
I have some breaking news for you.
Spill.
Look no further than Funny Girl Vintage, your go-to destination for curated, one-of-a-kind vintage pieces that'll have you looking and feeling amazing. And they have a showroom in Culver City. You can book your one-on-one style consultation at funnygirlvintage.com or on their Instagram at funnygirlvintage. And guess what, ladies?
What?
For our podcast listeners, you can get 10% off using the code NIGHT.
How do you spell that?
NIGHT for 10% off, and we thank Funny Girl Vintage for sponsoring this episode. Welcome back to Night School. I'm Jessie Zand.
I'm Alana Cloud Robinson.
I'm Izzy Hunter.
And today we have a true force of nature, a comedian's comedian. You've seen him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine to Community. He has a comedy special on Apple TV and Hulu and Amazon Prime for the masses. If you're a comic, he's your favorite comedian. Everybody, give it up for Eddie Pepitone.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for that lovely introduction. That was so nice.
Thank you. I stayed up till 2 a.m. writing it.
Eddie, we wanted to kick it off actually today with a prayer. And this is a favorite prayer of mine, the clown's prayer.
Oh, let me put on
Clown's prayer. It's a real one, right?
Yes, this
I
is
think
a
I've
real
heard
prayer.
this one. Go ahead.
Oh, to be silly in the moonlight with rouge on and big floppy feet. Thank you, Lord, for hand buzzers and buckets of sawdust. Amen.
Oh, my God. Who wrote that?
You.
Eddie Pepitone.
Did I?
In
Yes.
2013.
It sounded like something I would write.
2013.
This is
When?
2013.
on Facebook.
This is me. I was stalking you last night very hard.
You found that on
We
Facebook?
love
I found it through your
Yeah.
Twitter account, actually.
Yeah,
I was
we went
just
through all your
searching
old tweets
words.
last
I was
night.
going through like deep tweets, and I searched some word because you can search a word on someone's Twitter account,
Holy shit.
and somehow
What'd you
that
do,
came
clown?
up. No, actually, I think let me see it.
Had to have been clown.
No,
Yeah.
it's,
the
I just
interesting
used
thing about it is we do have an attachment to clowns because she went to clown school. So
You
we
did?
do. Yeah.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
You seem like you went to class.
Thank you. No one else.
She does.
Other
She
people
is.
are shocked when I
Yeah.
say that, so I really
Really?
appreciate. Yes.
No.
Thank you.
You're definitely clownish, and I mean that in a good way.
No, that's a huge compliment. I don't know what word it was, but it wasn't even
Yeah.
clown.
But we love that. You're very.
Could you read it once again?
Yes, of course.
Let me
Yes.
put this back on.
Clown's
Sorry.
prayer. Oh, to be silly in the moonlight with rouge on and big floppy feet. Thank you, Lord, for hand buzzers and buckets of sawdust. Amen.
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 I don't remember that shit.
It's
was on your Facebook page,
It was a
actually.
download from on high, and
Yeah.
that is why we appreciate you.
yeah, you
because
tapped into
you're
source.
tapped into source. You know.
Oh, God, I love tapping into source.
Yeah.
I do. Like, it's rare, you know?
It's rare. Do you find most comedians can tap into source?
No.
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 Why do you
but
think that is?
They do, you know? The source, when you're doing comedy, the source is what's going on in the moment with the audience. And if they're on board with your thing, then that becomes
The source.
great. Yeah, because you're connected to, it's all about connection. The source, you know? And you have to feel loved to connect to the source. So if you're feeling loved from the audience, you can transcend, you know, the hateful, and in my case, the hateful voices that I have. You know, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I hear from me is, "You fat piece of shit." That's the first fucking, you know. And the second thing is,
It's very relatable, honestly. I wake up in the morning and first thing in my head is kill yourself.
oh,
What's
fuck.
What's the second thing that you think when you wake up?
Oh, yeah, right. So it's you fat piece of shit. The second thing I think of is my God, you have no clue what you're doing in life. Like that,
Yeah.
you know? You're bad. You're bad.
Yeah.
And then as I get up, and the key is coffee for me.
I agree. Nothing.
Like, this is high.
Nothing quells the screaming of the demons like a nice cup of coffee. We should get a coffee sponsor so that can be part of our ad read.
Please.
Nothing
Starbucks?
quells the screaming of the demons like a nice cup of
You want us to
Joe.
uncover this logo? Give us some money.
You also have a podcast called Apocalypse Soon.
Yes,
And I
do,
wanted
with
to
Kevin
ask.
Tinkin.
Yes. So I wanted to ask, what's your ideal post-apocalyptic role?
What's my ideal
Post-apocalyptic role? Prophet,
role?
scavenger, lizard
Oh,
king?
I see. Jesus, I guess I always say if there was an apocalypse, right, and it just became completely lawless, that I would survive by being the clown, like being the
Jester.
henchman,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a warlord. Like there's going to be
Wait, went from jester to warlord. Hold on.
what's that?
You said went from jester to warlord?
They're synonymous, though, in an apocalyptic situation, I think.
What
I
is-
agree. I understand what you mean.
What?
They're synonymous, like a clown
No.
and a warlord.
No, I was saying that warlord, like, it's all going to be about violence and, sort of what we have now, but worse. And it's going to be, I mean, you can still go to Ralph's without getting killed, Whole
Usually.
Foods is
For the
dangerous,
most, yeah,
but
for the most
Trader
part.
Joe's is okay. But they'll be, remember when someone got stabbed in Target over here in LA? It was only a couple of years ago.
I feel like that happens more frequently than you would think. So
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
specify
That's like
which
a-
target
That's a-
stabbing are you referring
Yeah,
to.
exactly. Yeah.
Wait, there was a hostage situation at the Silver Lake Trader Joe's. Do you
Oh
guys
my
remember
God,
that?
I
remember that.
remember that.
That was a
That was
big
scary.
one because I was trying to go in for a trail mix. I love their trail mixes.
I lived right around the corner, so I was also like, I guess not going today, I guess. So I wonder how quickly they'll clean that
Well,
up. But
because I needed trail mix, I went in anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it has those chocolate chips
Yeah.
in it
I know.
with the nuts, and also I kind of like with nuts, like the pineapple.
Oh,
Yes,
the
the
dried,
pineapple
yes.
dried.
The
Yeah,
dried
those are good.
pineapple, and I was, and the cops were like, "There's a hostage situation." I was like, "Please, I love their trail mix," and he goes, "I know what you're saying, sir." And then there was gunfire, and he had to run, and I snuck in, and I got the trail mix.
Oh, thank God.
Did you steal it? Or
I
did you
didn't
pay?
steal it. There was still one cashier. Trader Joe's is smart. Even if there's a hostage situation, they will always have one cashier.
yeah.
Good.
It's in their employee paperwork.
Yeah.
I've heard.
It is.
Yeah, it
and,
is.
A lot of employees don't like that at Trader Joe's,
Yeah.
but, everybody, if you ever talk to people who work at Trader Joe's, they're all like, I really like this company. Have you ever talked to
Yeah,
someone?
true.
who works
Well,
at
they
Trader-
seem
Don't they get
indoctrinated.
health care?
Can you believe that?
I know.
That's
I think as
crazy.
Americans, we're so whipped into being.
Yeah, I just said that's like it's a positive. I was like
Right.
healthcare, yeah, even though they're stacking
get
shelves.
healthcare?
Yeah, but they have to like man the cashier in a hostage situation. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's beautiful. Thank God for Joe.
Yeah.
He's protecting the worker.
Yeah.
Who's Joe?
Trader Joe.
Oh,
For the
I thought you were
longest
about Joe Biden.
for the
I was like,
longest
what?
time, I didn't shop at Trader Joe's because I grew up very holistic. I was a Wild Oats child, Wild Oats before
You
it was Whole
look
Foods.
like that.
I was a Wild
Yeah.
Oats. I know, I do.
She was
You
born
do.
she was born in a tub while her mother listened to Enya.
Yes. So that was
You have those eyes.
Yeah, it's true.
Wild Oats eyes.
I have Wild Oats eyes. Betty Davis eyes, Wild Oats
Something
eyes.
like that.
Yes. So I didn't go to Trader Joe's for many, many years, not until I was an adult. And I don't know why. I just never really looked at the spelling of it. And I didn't realize it was a trader, like one who trades. So I always thought it was Trader Joe's, as in a trader to the country, to
No, that's
someone.
the supermarket called Benedict Arnold's. That's a terrific little supermarket.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's funny. Trader.
Trader.
Traitor.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
back to your role in the apocalypse. I love this. Is going to be the most. We're going to
Oh.
go off on tangents this entire
So
time.
I'd be the jester.
You'd be the jester.
Who is strapped to the front of a huge, like SUV, and I'm like naked. They've made me naked, but they let me live because I'm funny. They strap me to the grill of the car, the big SUV or whatever you call these fucking pieces of shit. Yeah, because I see big cars now, and I'm pissed.
Yeah.
The really big cars. I was in Trader Joe's the other day, not to brag. And, they have those little fucking parking lots that are way
Yeah.
too
Oh, yeah.
small.
Oh, my God.
And this motherfucker is in there with a truck, that's like 3 stories high. And I immediately get twisted. I wish things could roll off my back, but I'm like, what? Is the truck, like I want to yell out, is the truck big enough for you?
But you have to be careful because that could be a truck that you're strapped to in the future when that man becomes a warlord.
Absolutely.
So you have to keep it to yourself just in case, because it could determine how kind he is to you as you're strapped naked.
How
to the
fast
road.
he
Like,
drives.
like
How-
he goes, I remember you.
Yeah.
How
you're the
tight
guy
your
that
restraints
screamed
will
at me
be.
at Trader Joe's.
You're
Yeah.
the motherfucker who's screaming.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of guy who yells out the window at people angrily, but
Yeah.
if they actually get out of their car,
Oh, nightmare.
then I'm like, no, I was just getting stuff
I'm
off
a
my...
comedian.
Yeah.
Didn't know you were going to get out.
This changes everything.
Didn't know you...
Just working out some new material. Nothing. Wouldn't talk to you. Yeah.
Didn't know you take the fact that I call you a fucking moron scumbag seriously. But anyway, I'd be strapped to the grill telling jokes. I'm covered in blood. My blood, other people's bloods, because it's the apocalypse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and
of
I'm
course.
just going, hey, boss! Just yelling up at the henchman. Hey, boss, this apocalypse! It's fucking crazy, right? How do you date? How do you date? Like, I would still do hacky material. Because a lot of these
A lot of
warlords-
dating apps. Yeah, a lot of dating app material in the apocalypse as you're strapped in the mess.
Hey, boss!
Yeah.
Is Grindr still a thing? Tinder, I mean. Tinder.
We should pitch
They're
this
gonna
as
love
a,
it.
a
They're
Ma-
gonna love it.
A Mad Max sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
It's
really,
Mad Max,
It
yeah.
is. It
Man,
is.
those Mad Max.
Yeah.
Though I watched the last one, which is one long shot. It's like having a nervous breakdown. It's one shot. They just
Really?
The
I've
whole-
never seen it.
yeah, don't.
You can skip it.
You know what I have to say?
You
My
can skip
favorite.
it.
You know what my favorite post-apocalyptic film is?
What?
Is Waterworld. I'm terrified of swimming,
Okay.
so I think it creates this anxiety within me when I watch it. But of all the worlds that we could descend into in chaos, I dream of a world of water.
You know, that movie is regarded as one of the worst movies ever made. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And
I love that movie.
Well, I saw it. I had torn, and this isn't to brag again, I had torn my Achilles tendon in Colorado, and that's a vicious injury.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And so I had this huge cast on for the entire summer. I was teaching kids improv. And they said to me when I I was playing basketball the first night I was there, and I heard a pop. And then what happens with the torn Achilles is that you put your foot down, and I just said, is the ground straight? Because your foot is essentially
loose.
not attached. And I
having
was
a
in surgery
visceral
the next
reaction.
day. Anyway, what's that?
I'm having a visceral reaction.
I know, I see that. Do you know, by the way, I did it 10 years later on the other foot?
Oh my God.
Playing basketball again. I no longer play basketball. I play something
Yeah.
called shuffleboard now.
Has all the color drained from my face?
You are a
I'm,
little
like,
pale.
sweating.
You are looking
Are
a
you
little
an
pale.
empath?
Isn't everyone in LA?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I think you feel other people's emotions and their
It means
and
you
their
have a
pain.
basic. It's like you have a basic
Yeah.
sense of
It's a-
empathy,
yeah.
but now people use that to weaponize. Like you try to tell them something horrible that happened to you. They're like, "Stop! I'm an empath."
Yeah.
And it's like you just feel like a basic sense of sympathy for others.
Yeah, yeah.
An empath is a codependent, I think. Like,
I am that too. So
Yeah. Same.
me too.
Yeah.
I have every disease there is. The mental ones.
Yeah.
Some physical ones, but every mental illness, I realize I have.
I think every artist does.
Yeah.
I think you have to be I think you have to have something insanely wrong with you in order to pursue, and I'm going to say specifically stand-up comedy.
I think you're right about
Yeah.
stand-up. I don't think there's any healthy stand-ups. Maybe Dimitri Martin.
And
Do you guys even know who
yeah,
he is?
Of course,
I
of
know
course.
of him, but I'm
Of
not.
course,
I'm
he's.
not in the
Oh, I'm a
comedy-
huge.
Yeah.
He's wonderful and incredible. I actually saw him at Largo like 2 years ago, and he was
Doesn't
working
he
on.
seem very...
He's- and
I
you
know
know-
Dimitri, and he
Because
is
and
very-
also I think part of why he's so healthy is like you don't see him. He does stand up, and you don't. You know what I mean? Like he's
That's
not.
true.
He's not on
Does
the
he
internet.
live in L.A.?
Who knows? I don't know.
I know, right.
Who knows? Who knows? Does he even exist?
Dimitri, contact me. It's Eddie Pepitone. He does really interesting shit.
He's like very alt. He's a very alty
Okay.
comedian. He had a show on Comedy Central that was really, really popular. He often does he often does like he like brings some sort of, I hate to say prop because then people will be like prop comic, but like he has props on stage where he like draws and does
Don't call
bits.
Dimitri a prop comic because I believe he's an empath. And he will be pissed.
He brings stuff on stage and does bits with it. I mean, that's, but
Yeah.
it's very creative. It's very alt. It's
Oh,
very.
like Carrot Top.
Yes.
You saw that logo? Did you yell to him, "Where are you going after this? Why are you never around?"
Where's your podcast?
Oh, that was one of the things I was going to bring up. One of the deepest regrets of my entire life was when you invited me. You were like, "I'm going to go do a show, do Tim Dillon's podcast." And you were like, "Do you want to come and hang out?" And I was like, "Yes." And then Tim got sick.
Oh.
And I think that was maybe racist on his part because he didn't want me to be there.
Yes,
I would
take it as
so
racist.
deeply
What race are you?
offended. He doesn't know who I am.
Yeah.
But it was targeted.
But it was targeted. It felt
I
targeted.
think I remember that. Yeah, he got sick.
He got sick and he had to do
Whenever
it virtually. And I was like, this racist piece of shit. Of course. He's so funny. It's crazy.
He's extremely funny. And I was just thinking, what am I doing wrong? Like, Tim got so big and it was pretty quick. But he worked really hard.
Yeah.
Like every fucking day, he was either doing videos or, me, I work at a slow pace, I think of doing a video and then I go, let's not rush it. I start playing with my hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Eddie. I'm in a mirror and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Eddie, you look good.
This is after the caffeine's hit and the voices have quelled, yes?
The caffeine.
Yeah.
You know what caffeine does? It actually flips the voice and this is a trait of a stand-up too, where they're manic depressive or bipolar, where they go from being horrible to then grandiose to being like, at least I do. I'm like, God damn it, Eddie, you are a very good comic. As a matter of fact, a lot of people call you a genius.
Hey, that's not
And
a joke.
I'm looking in the mirror
Yeah.
and I'm going, I want to fuck you, Eddie. You know what I mean? Like, did you ever catch your eyes in a mirror and go,
Oh,
Jesus?
absolutely.
This is like the most relatable thing I've ever heard.
This is the most
I go through
relatable
the
thing.
same thing
I go
ever,
through this all
every
the
day.
time. In
Yeah.
fact, getting ready today, I go, God damn it, I look good. Like, God damn, like, baddest bitch alive.
Yeah.
Like, and then I'll have a bad set and I go, I should actually just throw myself off the SLS building. Like, I should
Throw yourself what?
off the SLS hotel. Just throw my body off there because it's over.
Which hotel?
The SLS, right? Is that what it's called?
SLS. What
Isn't that what the hotel? What's that hotel on Beverly? That's a hotel. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
It's funny you
You
just
think
picked
I'm
the
rich enough to
SLS.
stay in hotels?
Yeah.
I don't know about the hotels around here. No, for me, it's because I'm a writer. Like I'll sit down in the morning. I have the demons come, and I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, you're a piece of shit, and you're gonna fucking die alone.
Do
Everything
you
do is
write
shit.
right away?
I wake. Yeah, I have
You do
to. I wake
morning
up.
pages?
I don't do morning page, but I sit down and start writing my projects immediately. So I get my coffee, I sit down, and then 5 or 6 hours pass. And I'm really in the zone, and I'm like, this is where it starts to
Are you
swing.
very disciplined?
It's swing. I'm extremely disciplined. Swings in the other direction, and I stand up because I realize I've had to pee for like 3 hours, and I haven't stood up, and I haven't had a sip of water. And I
kinda
go, and I'm like,
admire that.
wow, I'm a genius. I feel this blood coursing through my veins, and I walk past a mirror, and it's the most terrifying sight I've ever seen. Just unwashed, unkempt, dry, desiccated.
But that's a writer,
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful
stuff
thing.
about being a writer, as opposed to stand-up, is writer is solitary.
Yep.
Yes.
Hold it, just Google photos. What? No. I don't want to search for anything. I said nothing. Here's what I found. Okay, let's see what the motherfucker. What? What did you find? Yeah, bitch. No, it happens all the time. You're a poet, I know.
Yeah, I've
You
moved
write
away
poetry.
I've moved away from poetry, though. I'm trying to get more into novels and things like that.
cool.
So I'm
She
just
wrote her first
focusing.
novel, Hardly Strangers, linked in bio,
What's it
831stories.com.
It's called Hardly Strangers. It was actually a romance that I wrote.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
A romance.
Yeah.
Is there a picture on the cover of a woman, bodice getting ripped by?
It is not.
Maybe
It
the
is
second
not.
printing.
It is-
We should tell them.
Yeah, I should. I know. Well, the whole thing was they did covers specifically to be like discreet. That was their whole thing. Was for women who like to read porn on an airplane.
Yeah.
You know.
That's fair.
Yeah,
understandable.
but it is a very solitary practice. I find, there was a writer, I forgot who it was, but someone said, being a writer is hanging out with people you made up in your head all day, and then
true.
having to go out into the
Yeah.
world. That is the
So
huge
true.
difference, I think, between that practice and stand-up comedy. Is like you take those people in your head, and then they're sitting in front of you in an audience versus just kind of remaining in your head.
My favorite writer ever, and I'm thinking I should go back to him now and read again, but Henry Miller. Now, Henry Miller got a reputation of being just about sex because that's, all people. If you know Henry Miller.
I love Henry Miller.
You do?
Yes. I'm a Henry Miller stan. Tropic of Cancer, everything to me.
Oh my
everything. Yeah.
God. I love that.
Yeah.
And
great.
His book's just amazing. And he said what writers do is that they write, and then at night, he said they have to be around people. He says he goes out to the cafes, and that's why writers go out at night. Do you go out at night to cafes?
I go out at night to cafes. No, I do go out at night. I mean, that's the thing is I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. I really do like being locked into my space.
All
But
day?
I get addicted to my own company, though. It's really difficult.
But
And then
you-
I'll come out for like the first time in ages, and I try to interact with people. And I'm like, ugh.
I think it's true though. There's something that I bet you'll relate to this. I think the reason Henry Miller probably does that too is because you need to understand different human experiences and like take stuff for your characters. I think that's probably
it's
why you
important.
need to
It's important.
socialize and just to like feel normal and not
Yeah.
schizophrenic.
Which again is, I
But-
think, the same thing with comics, though. Is
Yeah.
that a lot of
Yes.
your material exists in other people. It's
Yeah.
like
Yes.
these interactions you have on a
Yes.
day-to-day basis.
Now, I don't know about you as a writer, but do you write?
I do.
You write.
I'm a stand-up. I hosted
So
the
you
show.
write. You write
Yeah,
your own
yeah.
material.
Yeah.
It's hard to write. I like writing plays,
Ooh.
like one acts. I've never written.
You should put Izzy in one of your
Yeah,
plays.
I just did a one act last
Yeah.
night. I would love to.
Look,
She's
you're
fucking
Bonnie
hilarious.
McFarlane. Bonnie, if you're watching this, look at this shit.
Hey girl. Hey, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you.
You
I'm here.
gotta see a picture of her face.
I did. I showed
I
it
did.
to her.
Yeah, no, I
They
agree.
look.
Did
we
you
look
see
like,
the,
we look exactly the
similarity?
same.
Yeah.
And according to Reddit, that means one of you has to kill the other.
Yeah.
So Bonnie McFarlane, look out.
Watch
Yeah.
out, or maybe
Yeah,
me
yeah,
watch
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
What's your process like with writing?
I think when I'm writing, I get this thing like you can't spend all this time just devoted to yourself. You got to do other. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
very difficult. Do you go through that?
Oh, I can totally relate to that. I mean,
it's hard.
It's very interesting. I've brought this up a few times, but I have a really, really amazing literary agent who I love very much, and she's incredible. I cannot sing her praise enough. But what I've noticed is it's been great for my self-esteem and great for the motivation because I work now a lot of times on a Google Doc where she's watching kind of like and reading
wow.
along and kind of will text me and say, oh, I
Wow.
love this idea, whatever. Well, when she's unavailable, I hope she doesn't hear this because it'll sound like I'm parasocially, psychotically attached to her, which I kind of am. But when she's unavailable or on vacation or something like that, I find myself back in that place of writing in a vacuum. And that's really when a lot of I'm with that. It's not even necessarily the validation. It's just to be seen. It's like I'm working on something that means something to someone other than me
right.
because this is someone who can help bring it into the world in a different way than it's just existing in this doc.
Yeah.
And when she is not around, I find that thing comes back of like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm sitting in here, this room, just like making things up. Like, what the fuck are
It
you
is
doing?
validation, though. I think we
It's
do
weird.
sometimes need like someone to
Oh.
just cheer us on a little bit,
Yeah.
just a little bit,
Oh,
because
forget it.
you'll
I mean,
feel like
that's
you're
what
going
I-
crazy if
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said about
Self-doubt.
hitting the source is
Yeah.
that getting cheered on by the audience, and when an
Yes.
audience doesn't like you, it is, and I point to you.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. We've talked about some historic bombs on this show. It's some of my favorite topics. But yes,
Yeah.
continue.
Oh, bombs are, a couple of years later they're funny.
Oh yeah, a couple
Years.
days later they're funny.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, that means you're at a good level. I when I was younger, I used to bomb and just want to quit. Thank God people bomb, because stand-up is so crowded as it is with all these people who think they're funny. Mm-hmm. But then they bomb once or twice and they're out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it separates the
Yes.
real
separates the
comedian.
wheat from the chaff.
There's like
It's
a
hard.
bomb,
It's hard, yeah.
and then there's a bomb.
Yeah.
There's a
You know,
oh,
there's
But
a
your
bomb,
reaction,
and then there's
your
a
reaction does have a lot to do with it. I mean, that's one of the things I remember. There was one time I went to see you, and there was a room where the people. It was just not a very good audience. Like the people weren't really like they weren't laughing, but it wasn't like everybody was great. It was just an audience that wasn't really like receptive.
was that the
and
Comedy Store?
I think it might have been at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like just a mellow audience. So it was,
Yeah.
And there, a lot of people kind of came out and were dealing with that by doing the like, okay, like tough crowd kind of thing. But your bit of kind of just like screaming at people works so well in that kind of room. It's fucking hilarious, and it really got people back on your page.
Yeah.
because you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Sometimes that
It's
doesn't
hilarious.
work.
When could that not work? I thought it was hilarious.
I
was
know,
like, this is
but
perfect.
sometimes the crowd is so
Yeah.
not into you that when you say, you know what, like I'll say to people, you know what, I just want you to know this. I don't like you people. Like I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't like
And
you
mean it.
people.
Yeah, and mean it. Yeah, with your full
I'm
chest.
contractually obligated to do this set, so I will. But I want to tell you, it isn't me up here who's fucking up. It's you.
I respect that so much.
I think it's an amazing thing to use for those moments, because you get to leave the stage, even if they continue not to laugh, you leave the stage as this character that's like, I might come back with a gun.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it leaves the audience with, is this
It's
energy
true.
of like,
That'd be
this
funny.
might be an unstable person.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if the club, the club's unbooked and say, as people come in, they're like, now please laugh because Mr. Pepitone has a gun. And he's mentally ill in every possible
they're
way.
like, why is he here?
You
And
need
you'd
to,
be like,
you need
"Don't
to
ask."
get the next host of the show that you do to be like, okay, it's really vital that you put
Yeah,
your hands
it's
together
vital.
for this next performer. Actually, all of our
Please
lives
stop.
depend on it.
Please
There are no
laugh.
children in
Yeah,
here.
she has tears streaming down her face. Please give it up for Eddie Pepitone.
Yeah.
Are you guys into the shadow self?
Yes.
Carl Jung? Mm-hmm. The shadow. What's your interpretation? And then we'll get to you and you. What's like it's my podcast.
No, it is.
Direct.
It
It's yours.
is.
It's yours.
What's your interpretation, Alana, of, and we'll get to Bonnie, and then we'll get to Jessica. What's your interpretation of the shadow self?
I think the shadow self.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of the concept. I'm not super well read on it, but it's something that kind of spans a lot of like other spiritual work that I think it's been taken and kind of transcribed. And as a Wild Oats child, I was very familiar with this growing up. It's embracing the darker elements of oneself. And I think that it's something.
Yes.
The cool thing about comedy is I think a lot of the time there's these things that have become societally acceptable to embrace in ourselves. You know, you'll see someone post about this post that's almost seemingly vulnerable about, I was in this place and now I've transcended this. And that's sort of now the new currency of like, I was in this dark place of self-doubt, the shadow, and here I am now. Whereas like a lot of times I see these posts and I'm like, I think your shadow self is your relationship to maybe vanity or something else that's a little bit less sexy to
Vanity's
talk
a
about.
Is vanity a dark side? I think it is.
I think it can be. But the thing is, people, I think anyone that would become defensive about acknowledging whatever their shadow self is, I think that would be pretty good at, that maybe that is your shadow, I would say, for a big aspect of my shadow self would be my difficulty being responsible to others sometimes. Like I have a fear sometimes.
You're a bad
of,
person. Now, Bonnie, what is...
That is my shadow self.
That was my voice, my shadow coming
Yeah.
out. Bonnie, I mean, Izzy.
Bonnie's fine.
Izzy. Bonnie's fine. Do you know about the shadow?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will never even see their shadow selves and will never look
No
into
doubt.
it.
True.
Will never even touch it.
Look at our world.
Yeah. No, there's so many people who are completely oblivious to their shadow self, and it just remains there and it comes out through them, but they're not aware of it. So it's just like this like weird integration with their personality. I think I'm starting to look into my shadow self. I think at the beginning.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
not
hard.
easy.
It's hard. It's a hard
It's
realization.
stuff, from my understanding, it's stuff you push. It's all these
Suppress,
things you've
yeah.
suppressed.
And
Thank
it's
you
from
for the word.
childhood.
Huh?
And it's from childhood. A lot of
But
it
even
has
the
to do-
adulthood,
childhood
too.
thing, I had a fucked up. I just was scared as a kid, you know?
Same.
My father was rageaholic,
Same.
unpredictable. And my mom was clinically bipolar, like they called it manic depression back then. I mean, she was hospitalized and stuff.
Oh,
so I didn't
wow.
have her to protect me and my dad. So I have all this crap,
Yeah.
and thank God for stand-up comedy, because I think it kind of, I use stand-up as a catharsis kind of.
Totally.
Yeah, and you can release that rage
Yeah,
in
the rage.
in this way that is playful, but
Right.
it's
Right.
drawing on something that's deeply vulnerable. It's funny that you say that. I was listening. I'm kind of a research nerd, so I was listening to some of the previous podcasts you did, and specifically the one with Bobby Lee, and you talked a little bit about childhood.
Oh,
and,
we
and
did.
all of that.
Yeah, Bobby. I didn't know how honest Bobby was. He
Oh,
was, like,
Bobby's
super.
incredibly vulnerable. I'm a huge Tiger Belly fan, and honestly, one of the inspirations for me to start my own was.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's really interesting that coming from a childhood where you experienced rage, that now that has transcended into almost the onstage persona. But it makes so much sense why it. Because some people go on, you see some comics go on stage and they're very big and they're very loud and they try and tap into that rage, but it's not playful.
It's not authentic.
Or it's too performative.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's
too performative.
it's trying too hard.
Yes.
But your rage that you tap into is both playful, but also, now I know, draws on a place of vulnerability because you do know what rage is like.
Yes. Yes.
So that's really interesting. That's
Yeah,
very,
when I
very
was
interesting.
younger, my stuff sometimes would not be playful.
Oh.
It would, because I didn't have because stand-up takes a long time to do.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you
Yeah.
do stand-up?
Never. I mean, duh. I'm
But
Bonnie.
you were in
yeah.
clown school.
Yeah, that.
What did you
Yeah.
do? Did you have hand buzzers and stuff?
What's that?
You don't know what hand buzzer?
like when the zap. She went to the French clown school, like the
Well,
very
yeah.
very
basic
serious.
French.
Coq?
His student, yes, actually.
Right.
Gaulier.
Right.
Gaulier.
She was-
Coq had a great dick. I'm kidding.
I mean, with a name like that, you can't
with a
not.
name like
He
that,
better be
had to.
packing.
Jacques Lecoq is the craziest name I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is funny,
You
right?
can't not
It's
be
like
a
a made-up
clown.
French person. Like that's
Yeah.
if you were trying to make up like a French character.
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's
Jacques Lecoq.
Jacques
Yeah.
Lecoq.
You
Yeah.
can pass as French.
I
No
can pass-
doubt.
well, that's my
She's-
lineage is French Creole. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting that vibe.
Yeah.
You two, no.
No.
Maybe
No.
you.
No, I'm ethnically
me.
ambiguous.
yeah.
I love the French, actually.
I mean,
I
do
love
too.
the
I
French.
I speak more French than anyone in this room. Maybe
do?
not you.
I don't speak any.
Yeah.
I speak.
And I can't pass for French. And I can't pass French class either.
Oh God.
No, when I go to France, I just stay silent and everyone loves me because they assume I'm one of them. I just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, that's the key as
Yeah.
an American is to not
haven't
talk.
been to France.
What? Okay,
I have
we're
to get
getting
to
you
Paris.
there. We have to get you to Paris
get you to
this
Paris.
summer.
Have you all been
We've
to
all
Paris?
been
Yes.
to Paris.
I'm going
We
in a
should-
couple weeks actually.
We should take a night school field trip with Eddie Pepitone to Paris.
Oh, I could. I
Wait.
feel like
That
you would. I
would-
feel
You
like
should go
you
to
would
clown school.
actually. I could just see how much you would enjoy the cafe life, sitting
Oh, my
somewhere and
That's my big fantasy.
Experiencing,
Is
yeah.
to sit.
Henry Miller.
Yes, Miller got me into the whole, Paris thing. Because he
Yeah.
wrote about that extensively, and I just got to see where he lived in Paris.
You gotta go. You
Yeah.
have to go.
You
And
loved it?
I loved it. It's
Paris
my
is
favorite city
amazing.
in the world. It's my favorite city in the world. I
Amazing.
love the French men, and they
I
love me.
You love the Frenchmen?
Love them because I'm such a
Yeah.
bitch,
I don't-
and they
yeah.
love me for
Oh,
it.
yeah,
We
They
hate
love that I'm
Frenchmen.
such.
We
They hate
hate
Frenchmen,
Frenchmen.
and
I love
French
French women.
men.
I do not like French
I
women.
love
right?
French men.
Is that right?
French women. I feel like we have a connection. They're very they're a little bit reserved with their affection, but they have their little ways to show that they like you, and I appreciate that.
Don't they hate Americans though?
They were so nice.
Depends.
If you try,
Depends.
if you go in and you
That's
say
what I've
bonjour,
heard.
like,
You have to
and
just
you're
try.
because they're used to like the middle America dumb fuck.
Where's the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah,
Yeah. That kind of
Where's
vibe.
the McDonald's?
I would be there I'd be like,
McDo's.
comment allez-vous?
Yeah.
Fermez la bouche. Kidding.
Eddie, you have to get. This is your homework assignment as part of night school. You have to
I
book a
have to go
trip.
to Paris.
You have
Do
to
it
book
this
a
summer. Do it this summer. You
This
have
is
to.
your
I get
homework
upset,
assignment.
You know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get upset that I haven't been to Paris or Italy.
Oh my
Italy.
God. Italy too.
Italy is
You
good.
Pull
have-
out your
And
phone.
I have the money now,
Yeah,
too.
pull out your
what the
phone right
fuck?
now.
What are you doing?
We force you to book.
Book a flight
Yeah,
right
get,
now.
get your phone out.
Tell your Apple Watch.
Expedia.com.
I never do those Expedia.
No, they're
Travelocity.
terrible. Don't do those.
Really?
I don't, because if you have a problem, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You're
Go directly
fucked.
through the airline.
Yeah.
You're going.
I'm going in a few weeks. Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Are you going to Paris?
Well, I've got a wedding in Scotland, and then going to take the train
Oh,
over. So
God, you're a bitch.
Yeah. I know.
I've been to Scotland a lot.
I've never been, so you've got that. On.
Scotland's
Yeah.
pretty.
Do you go to Fringe?
Yes, twice. And
How was it?
then I drove from Edinburgh to the Isle of Skye.
Oh, that must have been dreamy.
I think one of the things that about you that's different than some comics, not all, but like I don't want to make a generalization that's like rude, but like you really have
No, go
such a
ahead.
deep appreciation for beauty, and I think that's what. I know this about you, that you really appreciate like simple, beautiful, like the pleasures of life. And I do think a lot of comics, like I think that's why you can come on stage and be like rageful and playful, as we were saying, is that you can appreciate the little joys. Whereas I do feel like a lot of comics,
Cynical.
you talk to them after and they really live in that place of just like total cynicism. Where you're like, what a beautiful
world
day. And they're like,
sucks.
is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
My cynicism.
Meanwhile, in Gaza, you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
My cynicism is based in. I try to make it about myself. Like my message is, life is so absurdly hard and difficult that you might as well just kind of enjoy it somehow, because it's absurd. Now, we didn't get to your definition of the shadow self. Do you?
Shadow self. So I've done shadow work.
You
I,
have?
Yeah, which is I've been in therapy for 10 years. I was
Well, that's a drop in the bucket to me.
I'm 28.
You're
But-
28?
Yeah.
Right, that's good. You've
Yeah.
been in therapy since 18?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good start.
Yeah, because I was a fucking basket case.
Really?
Oh yeah, totaled 2 cars, tried to kill myself twice, like
Total what?
totaled 2 cars, like
Oh,
yeah, tried to
Drinking?
kill
Were you a
myself.
big-
High, weed.
I still struggle with weed.
It's so hard. It's so fucking hard.
Oh, God.
I really want to cut
I
back.
want to quit it.
You know what? Tip.
Again, let's hear it.
That's through you.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of.
the CBD.
CBD weed. It's like much lower THC. It's like the weed that you used to smoke, probably, that wasn't so like.
No, I need to be.
You need to be off it.
Yeah, I've been
completely?
off it for a while now, and I feel so much better. I don't
Yeah.
know what makes me like just want to be numb.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's
wanna-
what I realize.
Yeah.
I want to
about
get
weed.
off stage and I just want to.
You want to be out of
Same.
your own
I
head.
just
That's the
wanna-
thing. Like weed, it kind of like.
It gets you out of that. Yes.
But it can go both ways, because then sometimes you're too in your head when
Yes.
you're high.
I couldn't relate to anything less. When I smoke weed is truly when I see the face of Satan. It's horrible.
you don't smoke, right?
No.
I don't smoke. I smoked when I was a teen. My mom
you got
ruined it
rid
for me because she was one of those parents who was like very permissive about things in the house. So she made everything uncool. My friends would be like, "Want to go get high?" I'm like, "I could just do that at my house. I don't really want." So I
Yeah.
didn't really ever.
That's
have-
kind of good.
She kind of made it like the one thing I rebelled with was alcohol, because it was the one thing she was really sensitive about was alcohol. But everything else, it was just like not cool, because my mom was like, "Yeah, you can try it. This is what it's like. This is what the deal is." And I was just like, "Fuck."
You have a bottle of Jack Daniels behind
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, under her skirt.
What?
It's under her skirt.
It's voluminous skirt.
No, so yeah, the shadow work.
Yeah.
I did. My shadow work has to do a lot with control and being being the adult to my parents as a child. Like
Yes.
that was a big thing, because both my parents are actors and like create. Yeah. That was my whole set is about my parents.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because
Did you grow up here?
yeah, born and raised, and I always felt like they were just fools. like just morons, and because they kind of are. Like, I just felt like pursuing anything in the business was such a futile effort.
Look at you now.
And here I am now.
Did they have a really rough time?
They did. I mean, they got aged out of it. So my mom was in 8 Broadway shows. She was in the original cast of Working. She was hired at 16 by Bob Fosse. Like, she's an icon. She's a theater icon.
What's her name?
Terry Treese.
Treese?
Yeah. And then she moved out to California, did the whole television, thing.
Yeah.
And then her and my dad met on set of her television show, and then they became writing partners. And they wrote for several shows. And then the last show they worked on was Felicity. And yeah.
As writers. So they were pretty successul.
Yeah.
Right. But then after that, like, the work just stopped. So, and I was 4. And so they didn't work again. And
you gotta work again. This is you as a
me,
4-year-old. You gotta work again.
yeah.
I know ageism is a thing.
But I'm like, get the fuck out of the house. Like, you guys are here all the time. Like, I have no, so I was just, what the fuck are you guys doing? And so I had to do a lot of work on relinquishing, and kind of my journey with stand-up and starting this podcast was like, okay, I'm not them. I can do this my own way. And I'm not a moron for wanting to pursue something that I'm passionate about and happen to actually be kind of good at. But at the same time, like, I haven't quit my corporate job. Like, I work a pretty buttoned up corporate job.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, on top of everything
that's
else.
smart, I
do, just to like keep it, and to fucking keep the lights going. Like, why do you think I'm paying,
Yeah. What's your job? Can you say?
I won't go into specifics, but I do influencer marketing for an advertising agency.
Okay.
So it's
do you like it?
I love the women that I work with. I work on an all-female team that hired me right out of college and have trained me into be the professional that I am today. And this would not happen without them and without that training.
Are you basically a publicist, would you say?
Yes, I started in PR, and then I do like all the social media stuff.
Because I need a publicist, and I have a new special coming out that I filmed a year ago.
Oh, breaking!
I filmed it in Chicago a year ago, and of course, no major platform wants it. Because I don't have, all they do now, they're all bean counters. If you don't have a huge following,
So stupid.
they're not that interested.
The social media thing is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's
It
diluted,
affects every
idiotic.
arena. It affects writing stuff.
It's really, I think for stand-up too, it's really diluted the art form in a way. The people who are getting specials now. I mean, I grew up on stand-up. Like, I've loved stand-up since I was little.
Who were your favorites growing up?
So of course the classics like Pryor, Kalyn, Rickles.
Oh, you just named 3 of my favorites.
Yeah.
Pryor's number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Kalyn's very close number 2, and then I would have to say Bill Hicks 3, if you know Bill Hicks.
I know Bill Hicks. Yeah,
but Rickles, I love Rickles. Again,
playful rage. I love that. It's why I love your stand-up.
There's a Japanese guy in the back going, oh.
That was a great.
At the end, Rickles was a little outdated.
Yeah. He was still swinging.
But people still loved him.
People still loved him. Also, like, you're not gonna change this fucking 90-year-old dude. Let him fucking be who he is. Who cares? Shut up.
I saw him in Vegas only once, and it was on his 80th birthday. And the person who opened for him was Larry King's wife. Do you remember Larry King?
Yeah.
That interviewer? And Larry was greeting people as you were coming in because his wife was going to sing, and she did shit like, people, they need people, some of the luckiest people. And there were montages of Larry and her, and I just thought it was the best. It was so corny and
That's amazing.
So Vegas.
corny and fucked up.
That's so funny.
What was why montages of her? And was it like a show for their anniversary?
I don't
or
know what the fuck. She's a singer, and I guess Larry King is a big dude.
Yeah,
and
I was just wondering if it was like a special occasion or that she was just
no,
like,
there was
remember who I'm married to.
I
Before you
that's
judge
more
me
like
too
it.
harshly, I'm married to Larry King.
But it was just so funny to see Larry King out.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
have
beautiful.
to stand up according to the.
Oh, to your watch.
Yeah.
That's all you do for the stand up.
You have to be.
My boyfriend's got that.
beholden.
We always sit around and he just immediately gets up and starts marching. I'm like, what are you doing?
Fucking idiot. No,
He becomes activated.
No,
It's
you're
like,
in London.
No, the apple geniuses activate him, and he's like,
I don't like wearing these partly because it's like
I stopped. I don't want to be connected.
I know.
I'm
I
so
do it for the fitness shit.
How's that going?
Oh, take it easy. I sense the sarcasm there.
Yeah.
Are you still a vegan?
No, but I'm gonna get back to it. But it's hard.
It's so hard. I tried to do it, and there's just so many dietary restrictions. Like in
It's
terms of
tough.
like you have to make all your own food and all.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I don't know. At some point, I just needed. I had some surgery, and to heal, the doctor told me you should eat some meat.
Oh,
I had a
really?
big incision, and I'm not telling you what it was for. So I know you're curious, but the hell with you.
I've upset him. I'm sorry, Eddie.
I had this big incision, and he said you should eat meat for the healing of it. I don't know why that's true,
Yeah.
but I did.
Maybe the iron. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. The iron.
So I did,
Yeah.
and then I was like, hey, you know what? I fucking mistake. I feel like we're so fucked.
I think we should just stop eating.
Yeah, breatharians.
Anorexic king.
Soylent Green.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you know what? That's gonna be the next I'm sure in 15
already
years
out. They've
there's
already
gonna be
made
a
Soylent.
huge
Yeah.
propaganda campaign.
It'll be made out of burgers. Will be made out of poor people for the rich.
Yeah.
For the rich.
Yeah.
You gotta get
You
a
know?
blood boy.
And they're gonna start talking
Yeah.
about blood boys.
That's
what?
Chris, you're our blood boy.
Hate to break it to
What does
you.
that mean?
like
So
we,
these tech billionaires like Brian Johnson. I think his son is his blood boy.
Oh, his
Yeah.
son
Yeah,
is his
his
Where
blood
he'll
son's-
boy.
get like
Yeah.
blood samples from his son and like reinfuse it with
Yeah.
He looks-
himself.
The tech billionaires
Yeah.
are fucking. They should be wiped out. By the way, those
Also,
fucking idiots.
Brian Johnson does not look good.
He doesn't look
If
young
you're
enough to be.
he's
He's
this-
the guy who's using his son's blood.
He's
the
obsessed
guy
with
who's
being young.
He's the guy who's like I made it my mission to promote anti-aging,
Reverse
and, like,
aging. Reverse
Yeah,
aging.
stop the aging process. So he's
Yeah.
doing everything
looks
under
like
the
shit.
sun
Yeah.
to reverse the aging, and he's putting he's
Yeah.
It's not working.
no.
I just
Yeah.
imagine
He
his
was on-
relationship with his son is like, he's like, boy, I need blood. And this kid like
Give
walks
daddy
into the
some
room.
blood.
So Eddie, we're gonna play a game of true or false. You once said, as an influencer, I have been moved to an undisclosed location for my own safety. Stay strong. I will tweet when I can.
True.
That is correct. True or false? It's illegal to make faces at a dog in Oklahoma.
False.
True.
What?
It is
Why?
true.
To make faces?
Making faces at a dog in either state of Oklahoma or Ohio is a punishable offense.
They don't enforce that though, do they?
How can you enforce
How the
that?
fuck can you?
Sir, were you smirking?
I just want to
Let's
say.
go test it.
I just
Let's
want
go
to
test
say.
it.
I just want to say that I actually did the research to actually cite my fucking sources
Yeah.
on these ones. Yeah, and there's your money. Okay, true or false? The entire city of San Francisco is built on a landfill.
True.
False. Only parts of the Marina District are built on a
Damn
landfill.
it. I spend a lot of time in the
Yeah.
marina. That's why I thought that.
In Texas, it's illegal to swear in front of a corpse.
True.
True.
Yeah, that felt incredibly true.
Yeah. In Louisiana, you must obtain a permit to host a crawfish boil involving more than 12 guests.
True.
False.
Damn it.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen a cookout? 50
You're
people.
Creole. You're
Yeah.
Creole, so you know all this stuff, and it's bullshit.
In Washington State, it is illegal to attach a vending machine to a utility pole.
Oh, that's absolutely true.
Yes, it is.
I just took a guess. A vending machine to a utility. Who wants to do
Someone
that?
fucked up and they made that law.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Someone
did
was
something
made
crazy.
an example of.
Bob, I want a can of Diet Coke. Where can I get it? You see that utility pole?
True or false? It is illegal to eat raw onions while walking down the street in Northfield, Connecticut.
False.
True. No sidewalk onions. Northfield isn't having it.
What if maybe it's just
Again.
sidewalk food in general?
Aggie
Onions feels incredibly. What do you have against
Aggie-
the mighty onion?
Is it the breath thing?
Aggie Horticulture, Texas A&M Journal. Sources cited.
I just wonder why that's true.
Someone fucked up. Again, someone ate too many onions. And the whole town
And they
went
said, you know
bang,
what? We got to do
bang.
something about this.
Nope.
We got an onion problem on the streets out there, Bob.
I love that's the biggest problem in
Yeah,
Connecticut.
fuck the opiate epidemic
fuck
that's
the
likely
opiate, yeah.
happening there.
Yeah.
Well, the opioid epidemic has probably made the onion thing now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Null and void.
Yeah.
null and void.
True or false? In Arkansas, you must pronounce the state's name with a French accent during government meetings.
False.
Correct. That is false.
I wish that was true.
I know.
In Topeka,
Arkansas.
Kansas, it is illegal to sing the alphabet song on the street at night.
False.
True.
Where?
In Topeka, Kansas, singing, whistling, or otherwise making noise at night in Topeka can get you fined.
Is that one of those places where they've got, like supernatural shit,
It's
Like maybe
Kansas.
something
It's
like
just a
that?
shithole
Topeka?
and they're dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been to
Have you
Topeka.
done a show there?
Did you whistle at night?
Thank God I didn't. I am
wouldn't
a
be
whistler,
here.
Close call.
You
so
wouldn't
I
be
start
here.
whistling and the sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind your act where you're incredibly
screaming.
where you're screaming. Yeah.
Bob, do I hear a whistle? Put on the siren.
True or false? In Connecticut, a pickle is only legal if it bounces at least 8 inches when dropped.
That's false.
Yes, that's correct. True or false? In Florida, unmarried women can be jailed for skydiving on Sundays.
That's false.
That is false, but there is a law on the books that is just no longer enforced.
So did I get it right?
You did,
All
correct.
right, then don't give me the little don't give me the little add-ons.
In some fucking bumfuck down in Texas,
Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches, Texas, young women are forbidden. Again, more with the raw onions. Young women are forbidden from having raw onions after 6 p.m.
False.
True. It's a strangely gender-specific curfew for onions.
What is the
What's
gripe
going
with
on with
onions?
onions?
Did you pull this from the Victorian era sources?
Yeah.
Like, does that just
Where are
feel
these
like
laws
these things
from?
are?
Yes, these are archaic.
Yeah, I don't know.
You time traveled for some of these laws.
Yeah.
And onion growers also have a powerful lobby, so I'm surprised they let this.
I'm sure none of it's enforced, but
Big onion is something to look out
Big
for.
onion. See, I missed the joke there.
yeah.
Big onion. I
Yeah.
should have said big onion.
Well, that's why I have
Now
these
it's
two
yours.
chained to. That's why I have these two chained to these.
I hope to hear it. I
We're
hope to hear it
jesters,
one
too.
day on stage.
God, I can't believe I missed that one.
All right. Well, as they say, end on a big laugh. Eddie, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm so
Thank you.
happy you had a good time. We hope to have you back. Thank
Absolutely.
you, schoolies, for watching. Write us advice questions, tinyurl.com/night school advice. We'll ask those. We'll answer those next time on the pod. Like, comment, subscribe. Please tell your friends about the podcast. That's the #1 way podcasts get around. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.